Hi, I got something new. Well, something new to me anyway. Never tried one of these before. It's a bore snake bore cleaner. This is for the 12 gauge shotgun. Call me new to the party, but I'm always late on discovering new things. Understand these work very well. This is made by Hoppies. Company claims it could clean your bore in 10 seconds. What I like about it, when you're using a patch, you're only cleaning maybe a ½ inch surface area as you're pulling it through the bore. Something about this bore snake is the patch is as long as the rope that goes through the bore, so you pull it through once and you get a lot of surface area cleaning the bore. So I don't see anything in the instructions about requiring any solvent, so I'm not going to use any solvent. According to the back of the box, there's a bore brush that's embedded in the cord to loosen hard deposits. There's a first floss area. I guess they call the rope floss, kind of from the dental industry. The first floss area removes foreign particles prior to the scrubbing action of the brush. There's a main floss area with 160 times more surface area than a patch. And there's a brass weight that slips through the barrel. You grasp it and pull it through, and it has a caliber or gauge stamped on the brass weight. Of course, you make sure there's nothing in the chamber, there's no obstructions in the bore. The weapon has to be unloaded before cleaning. You don't have to take the barrel off. I took the barrel off anyway, just because I have some other work to do. Instructions are to drop the brass weight through the cord. Drop the brass weighted cord through the bore and pull slowly, and be careful not to snag on edges, any sharp parts, any gun parts, and repeat as needed until the bore is clean. And the bore snake can be washed either by hand or you could do it in the machine, but if you use the machine you have to band it securely or put it in a wash bag. You guys know what a wash bag is, right? It's the stuff your wife uses to clean her delicates. Okay, this is the first I've seen one in real life. So here's a weighted core. Is it stamped with the gauge? Yeah, there it is. It says 12 on there. Okay, this front part is, I guess, is the first tier, and then here's the bristles that are embedded in the brush. The rest of this does the cleaning. There's a little loop on the end. I wonder what that's for. Got this little fuzzy thing on there too. Maybe this is the first tier thing for doing some cleaning. Let's take a look at the chamber. The chamber is pretty fouled. Let's take this up to the light. Oh, can you see that? I haven't got too much light in there. There's a lot of fouling in there. Looks like it's either powder or plastic from the wadding. Oh, check these out. Made some dummy snap caps. Okay. Let's drop the weight in there. It's taking a lot of force. I'm going to have to attach the other end to the bumper of my car. There he goes. See if there's any dirt on here. Well, still looks pretty clean. We look through the bore. Still some fouling in there, so I'm going to run it through again. Still fouled. I'm going to count the number of times it takes to get it through. Well, I ran the snake through about 30 times, and most of the bore is shiny, but near the chamber there's still some fouling. Don't know if you can see it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some of this foamy bore cleaner in there, let it sit for an hour. But I'm not going to clean it out with the bore snake because I don't know if you're supposed to put solvents on the bore snake or not. So I'm going to err on the side of caution, and I'm just going to clean the barrel blaster out with just a cotton patch. And then they say if the patch is blue after the barrel blaster, they'll let the barrel blaster sit in for a second treatment for 24 hours. So let's see what happens. Look at that, this stuff is like Mr. Bubble for guns. You don't want to take it in the bathtub with you because it's pretty strong. By the way, on the bore snake, after about 3 or 4 pulls through the barrel, it did get easier to pull through, but that first couple of times, if you've got arthritis, it's really hard to pull through. Maybe I'm just a weakling, who knows. Well, I let the barrel blaster in for 24 hours because there were still some marks in the bore. I don't know if you could see that. And then I ran the bore snake through a couple of times, and there's still marks there, and I believe it's not fouling. I think it might be pitting. I'm not the original owner. This was a police trade-in, so who knows what kind of abuse this barrel took. And I don't think it's a fault of the bore snake that there's some marks in the bore. As you can see, the bore is really shiny everywhere else. So I'm just going to mark that off as some pitting and leave it at that. I like the bore snake, and I'll probably get some more for some of the other calipers. Okay, let's summarize. That shotgun was poorly abused by the previous owner. It's no fault of the bore snake that it didn't get all the marks out of the barrel. I'm going to keep using this bore snake on shotguns. Shotguns don't typically require the accuracy that a rifled barrel or pistol requires. I don't typically use a metal brush on cleaning my barrels. I believe that too much brushing can ruin a barrel, so I always clean after every range session, but I clean with a solvent. I either use the Hoppies or I use the foaming bore cleaner, which I've had great results with. I would only brush if I had evidence of lead or copper fouling in the barrel, and I don't get much of that. So I don't know if I would get a bore snake for my 22, possibly for the 223, 5.56. That's a possibility. 9mm 40 caliber and 45 ACP. Yeah, probably so, but would I use it every session? Probably not. I'll stick to the solvents. But I'm happy how clean the bore snake got the part of the shotgun bore that didn't have the marks on them. Still don't know what those marks were because they're too far in the barrel to see if it's pitting. I doubt it's fouling with all the run-throughs I gave it with the bore snake. I believe they're just, I think it's best characterized as a frostiness, and it only runs for about 1.5 to 2 inches of the barrel near the chamber. So that's my review of the bore snake.